Gladys Berejiklian is now so popular there's a term in political circles to describe the effect her presence has on the less popular members of her party, the Gladys glow. She's so popular, her popularity rubs off on the people around her. I've always found this rather peculiar considering she's the most corrupt Premier of New South Wales since possibly ever. But you know, as Alex Smith from the Sydney Morning Herald puts it, the opposition are weak. That's why Gladys must be so popular. Nothing to do with the fawning coverage the weak media gives her. No, it's the opposition who are weak. Scandal after scandal has done nothing to shake the Gladys glow. Her character strengthened, her polling improved by the fact that ICAC exposed that she willingly turns a blind eye to corruption and misconduct. But could you blame Gladys? If she didn't turn a blind eye to behaviour that would make most people sick, she wouldn't have any friends left. These are Gladys Berejiklian's closest friends. Daryl Maguire, the corrupt MP who Gladys continued a secret relationship with well after he was forced to resign for corruption. Maguire was so close to Berejiklian, it's been alleged that he had a house key to her rear entrance and he would come and go as he pleased. When Daryl boasted to Gladys about the extent of his corruption, she simply said, "I don't need to know about that."
I don't need to know about that bit.
Despite overwhelming evidence that shows she facilitated that corruption. Then there's Gareth Ward, another close friend of Berejiklian's and also a man currently under investigation by the Child Abuse and Sex Crime Squad for allegations dating back to 2013. I've seen compelling evidence that Gladys knew about Ward's conduct for years and yet refused to do anything. Actually, that's unfair. She did do something. At the very least, she knew about this man's questionable behaviour, and yet she elevated him to become Minister for Families, Communities and Disability Services. How fitting. Keep in mind, this was well after she backed him when one of his more innocent sexual misadventures ended very badly and very publicly. And now that he's under investigation by the Child Abuse and Sex Crime Squad, she's refusing to force him to resign. Something that even John Barilaro had the integrity to do when a similar scandal engulfed one of his MPs a few months ago. Why? Not just because Gareth Ward is a factional ally. Not just because she can't risk minority government, not just because she must be compromised by what Ward knows about her. A legitimately big reason is because these are her closest friends. This brings me to one of the more concerning incidences of Berejiklian keeping her enemies close and her friends. Well, you don't need to know about that. Last year it came out that a very senior staffer of Berejiklian's was arrested on historic child sex abuse charges. The police alleged that in the 90s, a man sexually and indecently assaulted a boy and a girl, both who were no older than 10, both who were in his care. This staffer was charged with 3 counts of aggravated indecency against a victim under 16 and under his authority, 2 counts of sexual intercourse with a person aged 10 to 16 and under his authority, and 1 count of attempted sexual intercourse with a person aged 10 to 14 and under his authority. Because this man was under 18 at the time he was alleged to commit these crimes, it's illegal to name him. But as other journalists have already revealed, we know this man was 41 as of November last year. This paragraph in an article explains his career path after leaving Berejiklian's office. He has worked in a number of roles in Liberal ministerial offices at a state and federal level. He has most recently worked as a public affairs executive in the private sector. There's only one 41-year-old Berejiklian staffer who most recently worked as a public affairs executive in the private sector. I'm not going to reveal this man's identity. What I can reveal is this story. The story of how this man left Berejiklian's office, which perfectly encapsulates the morality of Berejiklian. Just when a 4-year police investigation was coming to fruition, this man was given a $256,000 government contract for 6 months' worth of work. At the time, this act alone raised a lot of eyebrows. This was a job that was not advertised, and it didn't exist before it was given to this staffer. This job that was awarded to Berejiklian's friend was so suspect, in fact, it was referred to both the Public Service Commissioner and ICAC. And this was without Labor knowing that it was given to the same man under investigation for child sexual abuse. But did Gladys know? She knew about Maguire and facilitated it. She knew about Ward and facilitated it. When John Barilaro publicly blackmailed her, she caved. When asked by Labor MLC Mark Buttigieg if she communicated with this staffer around the time the contract was awarded, she evaded the question completely. She is severely compromised. Corruption flourishes when you have a leader this weak. With so much baggage, anyone can ask for anything and she's forced to gift it, even to those under investigation for raping children. This is compounded by the fact that these sick, scary men are not merely her colleagues, but her friends. She surrounds herself with these people. These people are running the government. They are running the state. And every time they do something wrong, to quote Gladys herself, I don't need to know about that. But the problem is she does know about it. It's evident in her cover-ups that go straight into the bin after being shredded. Even sadder, it's evident in the reward she gifts these people for keeping quiet about their crimes. And these gifts are your money. This twisted woman gave your money to an alleged child rapist. But you don't need to know about that. She's just getting on with the job.